I'm just going to check it on my phone and make sure that we're good. Make sure that we're not having any issues. All right, looks like we're live. All right, looks like we're live. All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rachakwadash. Of course, we're going to give double honors unto our elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule well. And shalom and salutations unto all the hopeful elect that are scattered out there. And we're just going to do this lesson through the Spirit. And we hope that it's edifying to the elect. And then as you can see on screen, the title of this lesson is Spiritual Thoughts on Esau's Objective for AI. And, this is something that I was meditating on earlier, some things that, came to me in the spirit. And these are things that we know, but, for newcomers and just to kind of freshen up on some of these things, we're just going to, take a little dive into it through the spirit and bring out the appropriate precepts to qualify everything. And, first and foremost, I want the brother to get Job 9:24 and then couple that with Malachi 1, because as the elder apostles, especially Elder Apostle Gabar always mentions, we're always going to have, new brothers and even new sisters join the live streams, and they might be hearing these terms for the first time. They might not quite understand exactly what it is that we're talking about. So it's important that we kind of go over these things, when we're going in our lessons. We know who Esau is. When we use the term wicked and the way we apply it, we understand it. But there are others out there that are fairly new or that are still learning that aren't quite familiar yet with those terms. So we're going to just kind of start from there, brother. Go into Job 9:24.
It's the book of Job 9:24. It reads, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Yeah, it says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, we know that the word hand goes back to the Hebrew yad, which literally means what? Power, right? So the power and the dominion of the earth, the rulership that currently resides over the earth right now, is that of the Edomites, okay? And the Edomites today are the so-called white man, and more so the upper echelon of the Edomites, right? The ones who make the important decisions, as George Carlin once said in his notorious stand-up. He had insight. He's on record as saying it's one big club and you're not in it. So the ruling elite, which are basically your banking families, right? Those that control the oil industry, right? These different rich Edomites are the ones that are essentially influencing the course of society. That's who the earth has been given over to for this current time period, right? And there's a reason for that, because ultimately they're fulfilling prophecy according to the will of the Lord. So they've been set up to rule and govern the earth for a specified amount of time, because essentially it's a punishment to us as a nation. And ultimately the Lord has a master plan, and this is the way it's playing out, just in short, because we can do a whole lesson just on that alone. But we know the Edomites today are the so-called white men, and they're governing the earth according to the will of the Lord, and they're being utilized as a weapon or instrument of judgment, specifically for the purpose of Yahweh Shai, okay, to do certain things on the earth. And that's what we're unpacking, especially when it comes to these developments in AI and ultimately how it's leading to the micro C hip, all right, or the digital all, and when we're going to get a little bit into that you know, and Lord's will, again, you be edified. So just start from the top, brother. And then if you have any points that you'd like to make, just by all means, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, over Job chapter 9 and 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. And basically what the scriptures is saying is this man has covered the faces of those who are really rulers, governors. And beginning with the ultimate governor or ruler or judge or power is Yahweh. Okay. And his son, right, that sitteth at the right hand, Yahweh Shai. We know that this man has manipulated history and has performed something called iconoclasm, which is the destroying of icons. All right. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, Salaki, we got the brother, the beautiful brother Mayim on deck. We're going to add him in. Hey, Shalom. Hey, glad you could join us. So we know that Esau has performed something called iconoclasm, which is the destroying of images, right? And he's basically X'd out our power during his dominion by taking away the information that would have otherwise allowed us to know who we are. It's really only through the mercy of the Lord that we've been able to come across, you know, this information and have the spirit to believe. And that's through divine intervention. That's through mercy that the Lord literally bestowed upon us to allow us to know that we are the chosen. We are, you know, his beloved. We are those special people, right? And that's all essentially a fulfillment of prophecy too. You know, it all goes back to a man by the name of Abba Bivens through the spirit, all right, which we understand and know to be Elijah the prophet, which was for to come to bring the hearts of the sons back to the fathers. And the men that followed it, you know, whether it was, you know, Elder High Priest Yakalba, Elder High Priest Ariah, King Manasseh, that we truly believe is King David based upon the reports of our elders and apostles. And then, of course, our elders and apostles, a great millstone. Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Racha, and Elder Apostle Ariamla. So we understand that this man has covered the faces of our judges, beginning with the Heavenly Father and his Son, which is a form of blasphemy because he set himself up as a power, which is, again, one of the uses of his AI systems, right? Because he's programming these things to lead people in a false way. And we're going to unpack. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But again, this is what we're outlining through the spirit in this lesson, or through the spirit in this lesson, is how these technologies are all ultimately leading into Esau trying to control the populace. And as the brother Mayim and I were talking a little bit earlier, because I was, you know, informing him of this, you know, the spirit and direction of the lesson. He said two words to me. He said digital enslavement, and that's exactly what it is. That's the end goal of all of these technologies. Everything being integrated, because in order for Esau to continue to rule, in order for Esau to further his kingdom, right, and in order for Esau to fulfill his God complex, he needs to try to get everybody into a system that allows him that control. So everybody is essentially being integrated into that system. Like, even if you just look at the way people use technology now and how dependent they are on this system, you can easily see how when they make way for that digital all, and when they make mandatory the CHIP, a lot of people without question are going to easily jump on board. It's not going to take them a second thought. You know, a lot of times we might lead with the fact that there are going to be these catastrophes and certain events that are going to lead people into being tempted to take it, which is true. A lot of people are going to just do it willingly because of what they might be able to gain just by taking it. Right. And that's something else that Lord's will we're going to explore in this lesson. So finish that off. If you have brothers have any thoughts, scriptures, just come with it. Just Slacky and Mayim. Let Makba finish Job 9:24.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says the earth, Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. If this isn't the man who took the true biblical images of what our Heavenly Father really looks like, which his true name is Yahweh. And if this man ain't the one who took the images of our beloved Lord, which his true name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. And if he ain't the one who took the images of the prophets and of the true biblical Israelites and replaced it with his images, who is it? It's a rhetorical question because we know he's the one that did this through the Renaissance era. When he came into power, that's one of the first things he began to do was rewrite history and insert himself into it. Okay. And we understand that images, they hold power, right? They hold influence. So when all we see is this man's face throughout history and he's claiming to be all of these things he's not, naturally people are going to gravitate and look up as if he's those things. And he's going to easily be able to persuade people because they're looking at him as, that guy, that figure, and he's been able to deceive many, right, through just the power of images. And that's actually not only one of the qualities of a devil, which he is one of the instruments that the Lord used to actually sift, right, our nation, because a lot of our people are hell-bent in trying to save our enemy, so but anyway, we can move on. Anybody who's joining hands with the so-called white man, we understand the Lord is going to deal with. You're not the so-called white man is not going to go unpunished. All right, and those that join the hands, they're gonna suffer as well. But go ahead, Slakia.
Yep, and I got Malachi 1. This is Malachi chapter 1.
God. Yeah, this is the precept that proves that the wicked that's being described in Job 9:24 is a very particular nation on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Malachi chapter 1 and 4 says, "Wherein Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build."
Can you start at the first verse, brother?
Yeah, this is Malachi chapter 1 and 1. It says, "The burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness."
Right. So the Most High is clearly clarifying that he has a loved, right, which is his people, Jacob, which when you go into the history, Jacob became the progenitor of what we know to be the 12 tribes. All right. And then there's Esau, which was the brother of Jacob, right, who happened to come out first. Right. Now, the Lord said he hated Esau, right? And it's not just the man, it's the people. Okay. Can you get me Genesis 36?
Genesis
36 and 1. When we read about Esau, a lot of the times it's not focusing on just the individual, it's focusing on the nation. Okay.
Genesis 36.
And it's like just for clarification, that's why you gotta pay attention to the basics when it comes to the scriptures, because you might have what seems like a singular word like Jacob, Judah, but it could actually be used to describe peoples in a plural sense depending on its context. Israel might not just be, because you got to think about it, was not Jacob's name changed to Israel? But when Israel is being mentioned, it's not necessarily talking about Jacob. It's talking about the nation and his sons collectively. So, just you got to pay attention to those details through the Spirit. But go ahead.
It says, Genesis 36, verse 1. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
These are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. So Esau and Edom are synonymous with one another. And it's not necessarily just speaking about an individual. It's speaking about the generations as a collective, the peoples of that nation. Okay? So that's it on that. Brother, you can go back to
Malachi.
Yeah.
Malachi 1:4 says, where Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Right. And we witnessing the Lord right now throwing down, because what did Esau do essentially? He came over to this side of the world. He enslaved the nation of Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gad, Reuben. He brought Judah, right? The whole southern kingdom over to this side of the world, okay? But primarily Judah, put them in a hardcore bondage, right? And he built, the desolate places up through the labor of the Israelites. And what the Lord is doing right now, as we're witnessing, is he's throwing down. All right. We often went into the infrastructure of America and how it was already failing. But now there's so many things that are happening in a worse sense. Like, I mean, I think one of y'all sent in the chat about Brooklyn. Literally, one of the streets in Brooklyn was flooded with sewage water, man.
No.
You had Jake recording the video, and the fucking streets were like knee deep in doo-doo water. Okay, and that's just a tall tale sign of the degradation and decline and overthrow of this place, essentially. Right, a good indication of a nation's in impending doom is its infrastructure, as well as the state of its currency and the state of its people. And we know how moralist, right, and basically in a state of decadence these people are. So it said that the Lord was going to throw down. So the Lord is definitely throwing down. Whether it comes to the California wildfires in the Palisades, to a constant show of the weakening nature of this infrastructure here, the Most High is literally throwing this place down. The Most High is basically prepping this place for the ultimate judgment, which will come via ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. And the pure fire that will come from Yahweh Shai and the chariots that will be with him. So we basically, through those two precepts, went into who is Esau.
Yeah, the brother. Yeah, the brother. Back now.
Yeah, Esau might be messing with the stream.
Yeah,
Satan, All right. Yeah, Khan. So we qualified who that man is. All right. And again, there are levels to the Edomites. But when we specifically talk about Esau, Edom, we're referring to the banking elite, all right, or the elite among these people, because they're the ones that are essentially pulling the strings, right? Everything rolls downhill. Now, you do have these Edomites that are within the governing, body, whether it be your presidents, it be your, politicians, right? Your delegates and all of that. They have insight too, they're part of that so-called club, because they're all taking orders, and if they don't comply, they'll replace them real quick. This is why you see certain people, they'll run for office, you know, and they'll seem like they might have a little bit of principle or moral, right? But they'll never make it to office, you know, and some of them are agent provocateurs. Some of them are just insiders. They're just there to fill the void, so to speak, to make it seem like you have a choice when we know it's nothing more than an illusion. But some of them, they do really run on certain principle that is not aligned with the elites. You know, yeah, it's not. It don't coincide with where they want to take things. So, let's get into this word artificial intelligence. So again, the lesson is spiritual thoughts on Esau's objective for AI. So let's see if this is going to work. Let me know if y'all brothers can see that on the screen. Okay. So we have here artificial and then the word intelligence on the Edamon online. Now, we know that the word artificial essentially means man-made, all right? But we're going to go into some of these sub-meanings. I'm just going to jump right to the point. It says here, the meaning fictitious, assumed, and not genuine. Okay? So the word artificial means fictitious, assumed, not genuine, right? So essentially, the word artificial means to be false, right?
Yep.
And then we're going to look at this word intelligence. The word intelligence means understanding, knowledge, power of discerning, right? We're going to take a look here at this word. Bear with me. Right. Understanding, choose, or pick. So while AI, it might have its conveniences, it has its advantages, right? Because, you know, you got to think about how the Most High, he allowed Esau to take a collective intellect from all different sources, you know, and put it into an application that could be accessible at pretty much any time by anyone, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, different understandings of things, you know, like we're going to demonstrate, we're going to use Chat GPT because that's operating off of AI. And we're going to ask some, you know, basic questions. Lord's will, it works, because earlier on my laptop, at least it wasn't working. But while it could be a tool and it could, you know, generate useful information, we know that it has its disadvantages because Esau does things deceitfully. And all of this is just a real evolution to the C-hip, right? And one thing to mention, let's see if I could share this. When you look at the Neuralink is no more than what? A brain C-hip, right? That aims to connect human brains with artificial intelligence. And we understand that at the end of the day, AI is being used by Esau to influence and control people to follow after his image. All right? That's really what it's about, is influencing people to follow after his image and to turn away from the Heavenly Father. All right? So when we're discussing this lesson, just keep that in mind, that that's really the objective here. So, essentially, artificial intelligence, it means false understanding. All right? Artificial, fictitious, or man-made. Now, when you think about man-made, doesn't the scripture say, let me remove that. Doesn't the scripture say that man, all right, or the creature was subject to vanity?
Yeah.
Right? Now, how much more the so-called white man that was set up to be the wicked, who's also the basis of all nations, the basis of all men, wouldn't it apply to him explicitly even more? He's the enemy. So if we know that we are able to make mistakes, right? And we need a savior. We're basically operating off of mercy. Why would anyone think that artificial intelligence is anything but an ulterior motive? Right? But we understand that. And that's just exactly it. All right. Esau is using it to propose advancements when in actuality the advancement is to control and influence and through it deceive and destroy.
Yeah, I got a precept.
Con, read it in Lord's will. Just go ahead and break it down.
Yeah, it's the book of Daniel, going straight to the point of verse 8. Daniel 7:8, pardon. This is I considered the horns, and behold, there came among them another little horn, which this little horn is talking about America.
Yep.
All right. Which we're dealing with, of course, the revival of the Roman Empire with the fourth beast. Okay, Daniel's the 7 and 7. Okay, but it says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, that being, of course, with the French, the Spanish, and the British. Okay. You go into, of course, the establishment of America, various wars that established that. Okay. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things. Right. That point being the great things, like this is one of it, this AI. That's one of the great things and stuff, because, with Esau Edom with his his pseudoscience, he's trying to basically convince to the world that this is going to transcend what is humanly possible,
right?
And be greater. We can mix man with machine, transhumanism, and we have to have this.
Yeah,
we got to upgrade.
Right. Which again, at the end of the day, even though he is trying to pursue everlasting life through technology, and that's what he essentially wants to do, he wants to transcend what is physically capable through technology, right? Merging man with machine, right? Transhumanism, basically being cyborgs. They want to be able to extend their life, their intelligence, their ability through technology. Absolutely. And they're even going to advertise certain experiences of average individuals as a form of convincing people that this is that way to go, that this is that next step in so-called evolution, right? But we also know that on the off end of that, Esau's depopulating the people through experimentation, right? VAXXs and other means. And the reason for that is because we know if he's going to truly attempt to take over and rule and govern the earth, because the scripture said, well, as a matter of fact, can the brother, since we kind of on it, I don't want to derail too much of what the brother's going into, but can a brother please get hold on one second. Psalms 49 and 11. Baba Kusha.
Psalms 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, that they call their lands after their own names.
Right. So their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. So this is the pride, essentially, of the so-called white man. And he's basically in that spirit by implementing these different technologies. So that's literally what he's been programmed to do. It's just that's not what's going to happen. All right. Thankfully, to Yahalba Shai and his mercy, he's going to interject and essentially intervene as his devil is eating, essentially as he's establishing everything. The Most High is going to interrupt through that judgment. okay, through that second death, through those ICBM nuclear missiles, through World War III. All right, essentially. And we just waiting on Esau, because remember, this is the hopeful year of deliverance and destruction and judgment of Esau. So our deliverance, but his destruction. Okay. So we know that as Esau is implementing these different systems, and especially when he makes the C-hip, okay, mandatory, everything's going to be expedited. Everything's going to be, moving a lot faster, and that's going to usher in those last final prophecies when it comes to destruction and deliverance, because they're going to happen simultaneously once they make that move to implement the C-hip, right? So again, and then we can see all roads are essentially leading to that. This technology is integrated pretty much in everyday life. Even when you're operating your smartphone to social media, everything is operating pretty much off of AI and an algorithm. All right. And also off the functionality of a C-hip. So when you condense all of those things and you put it together, you could see how ultimately it's going to lead to people taking that C-hip. Okay. Like I just brought up the example of the Neuralink. Let me see if I could share this again. You brothers can see that? Okay. Yeah, it says Neuralink is a brain C-hip company that aims to connect human brains with artificial intelligence. And remember, AI, that's a program. That's a program designed by a collective effort to supposedly, like the brother was going into, and we're going into, is how it's supposed to aid and be that next level of evolution. However, there is an ulterior motive, because they want to be able to program people, right? They want to be able to hack people. Right now, people are operating off of influences every day, whether it comes to advertising, all right, and these different social media trends, right? We understand that people are being influenced every single day. So the more this technology has been being integrated, the more people are inclined, whether knowingly or unknowingly, they're inclined to operate off of a system programmed by these Edomites to lead them into these different forms of deception, which will ultimately lead to their destruction. So I know it sounds like a lot, but just to make sense of it all, that's where all these things are headed. This is why if you're watching one video on something, a recommendation on your sidebar comes up, because it's a pattern they're trying to build, right? And they're trying to initiate influence and behavior. Well, or even when we say, because remember, AI is designed to recognize speech. So if you say certain things, you might be scrolling, you might be on the web, and all of a sudden on your side, tab, an advertisement comes up from something that you had a previous conversation about. Man, you know what? I really could use a new pair of shoes. All of a sudden, you get an advertisement for the best fucking sports shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm thinking about a new computer. All of a sudden, you get an ad that. So this is a technology and a device utilized to persuade people into doing certain things. Okay. And we're just focusing on that because really, if you do a deep dive, there's plenty of things to go into when it comes to AI. Right. And it's different. And it's different functionalities and applications. But where were we at, Salakia?
That was the brother was on Psalms 49.
49:11.
49:11. So again, this is his inward thought is that his house shall continue forever. So this is him using, all right, this technology to try to further his dominion, right? And try to gain, or rather keep control over the populace,
Yep. Mind, you got anything else?
No, that was it.
Con. So we can move on to was there more on what you were reading, Amathba?
Nah, that was basically it.
Then we can jump to 2 Corinthians 2:11.
Yeah.
Brother, whatever brother reads it, just go ahead and break it down.
Yeah.
Grab it, break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Their inward thought is their houses shall continue forever. That's what we just read. You know, and we see through what he's trying to implement on the earth that he's basically fulfilling that prophecy. That's what's in his spirit. So when you see these different technologies emerge, whether it's AI, okay, Neuralink, okay, whether it's literally using biometric data with as a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. See if I can just pull this up real quick. Bear with me. Right. So even when it comes to patents like W0, hold on, give my computer a second. WO2020060606, which is a cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Just know these are all instruments and devices being utilized to try to continue his rulership. All right, his inward thoughts at his house shall continue forever, but it will not be the case. You know. Go ahead.
It says 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And I'm gonna use this analogy from the New England Patriots when they was winning all those Super Bowls. They had somebody in the stands recording all the practice plays of their opponents. So every time they went to play, they already knew the plays that they were running. So that's how they was winning all those championships. And those eyes that's in the stands are the angels that's recording everything that Esau is doing and basically reporting it to the prophets. So we not ignorant. We not ignorant of his devices. We know his plays. We know how he gonna run. And the current play that they're running right now is to push the masses towards the implementation of that, to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So we not ignorant. We not ignorant of it.
Schlock is
Yeah, it looks like you got cut.
Salakia. My phone fell.
Okay.
I'm back on.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
I'm back on.
Yeah, you good.
Can you hear me, bro?
correct.
Come on, we could hear you. His thing might have got muted.
Okay.
All right. So when you go into that word device, which I'm going to pull up here on the screen, just bear with me. We're going to go into this word device. The brother read 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan, which we know what is the adversary, and we know that the physical counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan are these Edomites. Okay, they get divine influence from the left-hand side because they're operating off that power that they've been given to perform certain things on the earth. You know, this is why they've been established. So, you know, when we see these different mischievous events happening and, you know, all of these things collectively going on, we know that it's a fulfilling of prophecy, man. All right. And we know it's there to essentially appease the Heavenly Father because, like I said prior, through the Spirit, Esau is the Most High sword. See, like we're heading into the, you know, great events of the latter times, right? And a lot of things are playing out right now. And one of those things is the buildup to what will eventually be the mandation of the sea hit, man. All of these technologies that have been introduced literally has just been programming for the sea hip. I'm trying to pull this up. All right. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We look up this word device. All right. See if we can play it.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
We have mental perception, thought, and evil purpose, right? That which thinks the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So we know that Esau's purpose, right, is to try to govern the earth through his image, which his image is completely contrary to Yakalba Page. All right. His image is completely contrary to Yakalba Page. You know, nothing but degeneracy, perverseness, evil.
Yep.
And all you got to do is look at the state of the world. As a matter of fact, there was a video that was circulating of literally a 9-year-old who supposedly went to this tattoo shop to get a tattoo of fucking Donald Trump on their neck. And I guess they still allowed her to get a tattoo, but instead of DJT, it was like an American flag on their shoulder. 9 years old getting tattoos, man. I thought you had to be 16 to get parental consent. Not that you should be getting no damn tattoos anyways, but now 9-year-olds are getting tattoos. Right? You got 6-year-olds with smartphones all over social media being exposed to all these left-handed influences, and they're emulating all this fucking behavior, man. Trying to keep up with trends. You know, this place is nothing but wicked. So we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, right? Which is his plots, his schemes, his purposes, his mental perception that he's trying to push and permeate or spread throughout the entire earth. As we read previously, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. All right. His power structure is you know, his different influences, right? His military, his you know, his economic might, all of those collectively play into his governance over the earth. You know, and he's perverted the minds of the people. That's why these people are pretty much moralists. It's pretty much anything goes at this point. You know, whatever feels good is good is the mindset out here, which these people are learning. You know, as each day passes here in the new year, that you can't be wicked and get away with it. You know, that's really where we're at right now. The Most High is bringing a lot of swift judgment, okay, throughout the entire earth right now.
If I may, Elder.
Go ahead, brother.
We were speaking about Satan and how as soon as we start breaking who Satan down is and his devices, I get a phone call and my phone fall off the table. See, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. And Satan was upset that we was basically speaking about his behavior and who he is.
Right.
Basically interrupted my my breakdown.
Yeah, and that's what Satan was set up to do, to frustrate our purpose. That's, you know, he's that counterpart. But brother, if you may, and you know, if there was more to what you were going into, by all means, go ahead.
Oh, bro, you broke it down perfectly, bro. The water.
Hey, the spirit. Okay, so we got 2 Corinthians 2:11. So let's go. Unless of course y'all brothers have anything, let's go into let's go into 2 Thessalonians. I'm sorry. Let me do this real quick. Bear with me. Let's pull this up real fast. We're going to get a few more precepts. We're going to read some things off of Chat GPT just to make the point. And then we're going to close. If a brother can go ahead and read 2 Thessalonians chapter. You know what? Let's start at verse 6 and read down.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 6, it says, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken away. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yakalba shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Right. And, just to recap there, it says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. That's at the mouth of the prophets. Okay. Essentially, this man is being consumed. His lies is being consumed. All right. His agenda is being consumed through the truth and the men who speak it through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of Yahweh. Okay. And the brightness and destroy with the brightness of his coming is ultimately, we telling you the judgments right before they happen. So ultimately, him being destroyed with the brightness of his coming is going to be when Yahweh cracks the sky with the holy angels, simultaneously when those ICBM missiles are being launched to destroy this place. That's the brightness of his coming. All right. Now it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, because we know Esau, he's operating off the left-hand side. He's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. His influence is given to him through Satan and other, different degrees of left-handed spirits or left-handed angels that are giving him guidance and direction on what to do. Now, the flip side of that is those demons, especially that chief demon Satan, he's working for the Most High. So all these devils are really doing is playing their part in prophecy to fulfill the will of the Heavenly Father. So they have all these things in mind that they're going to do. And some of them they are performing, but they're ultimately being led to their own destruction. All right. The Most High is pulling them into their own destruction with each move that they make. All right. And it says, with all power, signs, and lying wonders. Now, we just broke that word down to you just so we can recap. Artificial intelligence, which simply basically breaks down to what? False understanding, lying wonders, right? Because when you look at the applications of artificial intelligence, even when it comes to just chat GPT, excuse me, that's literally a miracle of the left hand. When we can get access to, like I said, information of a collective intellect at our fingertips, right? And the word miracle, I'm going to get that word real quick. That word miracle, let's get definition. Bear with me. Okay. And we'll look it up too in the blue letter.
Okay.
Share this tab. All right. Right. Object of wonder. Like when you think about how Esau was able to perform getting all of these different technologies together to the point where it's literally all condensed into an application, and you have all this resource at
Yeah, the brother went out again.
Yep.
Yeah, Satan's messing with the stream, bro.
Are you back?
Con. When you think about the way that we used to be, we used to do things. If you wanted access to information, either you had to find somebody who was a master and you would become an understudy, or you had to travel and get books, right? You had, even 20 years ago, right? 10 years ago, you had to go to a library, right? You had to put in effort to get access to information. Now you pretty much have access to anything electronically, digitally, in seconds. You don't have to leave your home, right? So that's really a left-handed miracle, right? Because remember, this is being advertised as a benefit to the society, okay, as a convenience, etc. But it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, right? Which is literally one of the definitions of the word miracle. So it's just one form of his left-handed miracles, because it has its disadvantages, because we know that this man is the devil and he has an ulterior motive, all right, which is to destroy the people. And mainly you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're going to find out that while we have all these conveniences and, ease of access, the easy way is not always necessarily the best way, despite popular opinion. These things all have a downside when you understand who's governing it and who's in power right now and what his motives are. So we'll remove that.
Got miracles in also in the scriptures.
It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. So real intelligence, right? Now that word intelligence is either understanding or the ability to choose. See, the Lord, according to his mercy, has given us real intelligence, which is scriptural intelligence, knowledge of Yahalabashim, knowledge of the scriptures, biblical understanding of prophecy, right? These people didn't receive that. So this is why they're going to fall susceptible to all of these deceptions of the so-called white man, because they didn't receive the love of the truth that they might be saved. They received rather a delusion, because all these things are nothing more than a delusion, right? And even though it could be multifaceted and it could be used for convenience and it could use to give you an upper hand and advantage in certain aspects, that's not how this is going to go, because of the characteristic traits of our enemy, the so-called white man. He's, as the brother Shemaiah says, Mr. Can't do right. All right. And we read about that in Jeremiah 13:23. Can a brother get that real fast, please?
Yeah.
None of these things are for our benefit. Okay. Even though we can essentially use them as a resource, they're not ultimately designed. They've not been designed for our benefit. Go ahead.
You said 23 and 14?
13:23.
13 and 23? Still up. Jeremiah 13, verse 23. It says, can an Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Can you read that also in the NLT Bible Shah?
It says, Jeremiah 13 and 23 in the NLT, can an Ethiopian change the color of his skin? Can a leopard take away his spots? neither can you start doing good, for you have always done evil.
Has not the so-called white man always done evil? His whole inception has been evil. As a matter of fact, brother, go from there to First Maccabees 1, and you know, I forget exactly where the verses starts, but yeah, First Maccabees 1 and
on the earth or something like that.
13. No, I'm sorry. I started 7. 13 is too far down. Go down to 7 to shoot. Matter of fact, you just go down to 9. First Maccabees 1, 7 through 9.
It says, got it out?
Hey, you got Rick Rock.
Gone. First Maccabees 1, verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
And we know, again, Alexander, he was an Edomite. Okay? And he ruled during the time of the Greeks. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, and evils were multiplied on the earth. So when Esau essentially came into power, and ever since he's been in power, the only thing that the earth has experienced is evil. All right? There's really, man, anything that you could think of is pretty much a detriment in this society. Except for the truth that we have in the brotherhood, everything else is a damn a vexation because of this man's rulership. You know, there's really no abundance of life here at all under this man's rulership. Okay, he's very much anti-life. Okay, so. As the brother just read, excuse me, let me slow it down. Can an Ethiopian change the color of his skin? Can a leopard take away its spots? Neither can you start doing good, for you have always done evil. And that's these Edomites, man. Beginning with his inception during the time of the Greeks, all the way till now in the revival of the Roman Empire through America, evils have only multiplied. Okay, it's only really been bad times. Brother can even get Proverbs 29 and 2. Like the earth in of itself is completely out of course, man. This is why you have women lining up to kill their own kin, their own babies, their own the fruit of their womb. It's why you have men who are effeminate, women who are over masculine. You got men that literally need to go jet set just to find a woman that they can have as a mate, just to find a woman of some kind of value, you got to go across the globe. You can't even turn on the TV without seeing advertisements or portions of either whatever movie you might be watching or TV series without seeing these different agendas at work, man. Whether it's the alphabet community or otherwise, all these different perverse behaviors just at the forefront. But anyway, we can move on.
Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
You could break it down, brother.
Yeah, righteous. When you go into the attributes of Jacob, they say Jacob is a plain man dwelling in a tent. And that word plain man means morally perfect. So when the righteous are in authority, the earth is going to flourish and the people are going to be healthy and happy because we're going to implement the laws, statutes, and commandments to the whole globe. So therefore, we're going to succeed as a people. But when the wicked are in authority, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. You know, you got high taxes, you got GMOs in the food, you got chemtrails in the air. Everything is abominable here. And every morning, you see, because the wicked can rule right now. Who's the wicked? The so-called white. I mean, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man.
That's right.
Come on.
All right. So we're gonna go from there. Let's see if this will actually work. So what can I help with? So we're actually on Chat GPT, all right, which is a form of artificial intelligence, and we're just gonna ask it because we could be here all day, but I'm just gonna ask it a few basic things. All right. And if a brother wants to go ahead and get Psalm 64, we're just going to hit some of the main points. Just want to make sure, because I had a couple of precepts. I just want to make sure that we hit them.
Psalm 64, verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Lord. In my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. It says, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? It says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the heavenly Father shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So shall they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Right. Like you have this guy, Elon Musk. He's on record as saying one of the major dangers to society is artificial intelligence, and yet he's the one that pretty much unveiled the Neuralink. So he basically told on himself, all right, when he said what he said, because he wasn't lying, right? We're going into the destructive nature of AI right now. Like I said, can it have advantages, right? Is it convenient? Sure. But what's the ulterior motive? What's the main purpose that this is going to be utilized for? All right. It's nothing more than a form of deception, a form of control. All right. And to lead people into the image of the Edomites, which essentially will lead to the sea hit, which this technology coincides with the sea hit. All right. That's the point. Okay. Because it's all relative. For some reason, it won't let me hit enter. It was giving me issues before we started the lesson, so I kind of expected this. So let's see if I could just kind of restart and if it'll give me the option. Otherwise, we'll just do it from my phone. And we're just going to look up something basic. Can AI be used to control people? And let's just see what they say, right? This is their programming. So it says that it isn't designed to control people. Okay. So we know he's full of lies, right? But its capabilities can certainly. Are you brother seeing this, Salakia? I'm sorry.
Nay.
Hold up then. My fault, brothers.
It's on. We good now.
All right. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I could full screen this. Okay. It says that its capabilities can certainly be used to influence or what? Manipulate behavior, depending on how it's applied. And again, we already noted how everything is being used to try to form a behavior, create an influence. Okay? It says the line between influence and control is often a matter of intent. Well, we know what the intent is. Scale and context. It says here are some ways in which, so now it's going to tell on itself. Didn't the brothers say that their tongue shall fall upon themselves? Because who's programming these algorithms?
Oh, Edom.
It says personalization and recommendation. It says AI is already widely used in social media, entertainment platforms like Netflix, YouTube, e-commerce to personalize content and recommendations. This can shape people's behaviors, preferences, and opinions by consistently presenting them with content that reinforces their existing views. Right, regardless as to whether or not they're false or they're true, right? Or nudges. This is why you still got people wearing fucking masks. All right, when they're by themselves. Okay, because of influence, because of the media. Okay, medium, spreading spiritual messages, right? Through the airwaves, left-handed at that, because it's all witchcraft. So this is just nothing more than another form of witchcraft. So it says psychological manipulation, behavioral design. Remember, all these different executives on, as a matter of fact, I wonder if I could pull that up. Let me see something real quick. We're not going to play it. So, okay, here we go. Former Facebook executive warns of social media dangers. They go into how they specifically program these things, all right, to release dopamine, right, to actually cause chemical changes in the brain to keep you addicted to and keep you on their platforms. All right? So how much more with society being inundated with this type of technology, you can't get away from it, right?
You see most individuals, they get on those TikTok or Instagram or even Facebook, they all have a short YouTube or different short videos, and you just keep on swiping down. And more and more stuff, and you like, even me, like I got caught. I'm like, yo, sitting there like, yo, why am I keep sliding?
And that should be shortening your attention span. Like literally, you get to the point where you watching a video, you get bored after 5 seconds, and the video is only 15 seconds long.
Yeah, I like stop by nowhere. I'm like, there's something else to watch somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta do that dopamine detox, which we all do. Gotta go on that damn dopamine detox so you can balance your brain out. All right, we're gonna read a little bit more, and then we're just gonna close. We're gonna close on this. So for those that want to watch it, I'm sure brothers actually seen this before, but I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. Share this tab. My bad. All right, so you see here's the video. Former Facebook executive warns of social media dangers. If you ain't seen that, watch that video, okay? Because he goes all into it and the effects of it and the dangers of it, okay? And he worked for the company, all right? This heathen worked for the company. So they shall cause their tongues to fall upon themselves, right? So everything's being revealed. Everything's coming out, man. So we understand that these devices, these technologies, they're not for your benefit. All right. They're literally designed to fucking destroy you. This is why people don't even want to have real life interactions anymore. Everything got to be done through a motherfucking DM, you know. And while it might be convenient, nobody knows how to act. Nobody knows how to build real relationships. This place is finished, man. And again, it's all leading up to the C hit. And we're going to read that in Chat GPT too. But anyway, psychological manipulation. Can you brother see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, psychological manipulation, behavioral design. It says AI can be used to study patterns in human behavior and design experiences that trigger emotional responses, nudging individuals to act in certain ways. Come on, dog. they outing themselves, bro. And we using that same technology that they programmed. It says this can be seen in advertising, which we mentioned, personal ads that use psychological triggers, fear, desire, scarcity. Why the hell everybody buy up toilet paper, bro, during the scam? Why everybody fixated on damn toilet paper?
That was influence.
You know?
Yeah. Dude.
Everybody do that panic buying shit. All right. All right. Political campaigning. AI algorithms can target individuals with personalized messages based on their psychological profile or voting history. That is not nefarious. This is why I was going to say we are not ignorant of his devices. Shaping opinions or voter behavior. Okay, now here's another one to focus on. Because we, like I said, man, we could probably go a whole nother hour. Not that we're going to, but we can go a whole nother hour just doing a deep dive into all of the potential wicked uses that this technology has. It says deep fake technology. It says AI can generate realistic video, images, and audio. Deep fakes, which we know is definitely going to be used in these times, right? Where they're going to utilize our images and try to bring up accusations against us. Right? Esau's already been caught literally using stock photos of people and saying that they're victims of some sort of thing, and then they're literally just a model, right? Or what they call crisis actors, or literally they'll just take a stock image and they'll manipulate it a little bit to make it look different, and it's literally just a random photo that they use. So how much with this deep fake technology when they're trying to build these different narratives against the prophets? It says this can potentially be used, which could be used to deceive or manipulate people into believing false narratives or accepting fabricated events. This can potentially be used in misinformation campaigns to sway public opinion or affect political outcomes. All right. So I don't know if a brother has anything, but we're just going to move on. I might have to. Okay. Just give me 1 second, brothers. We're going to read this little bit of information and we're going to close. Mime, can you recap that Psalm 64?
Done. Psalm 64.
Just the secret counsel mainly is what I want. Whenever you're ready, just go ahead and read it.
Let's start with 64 verse 1. A psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Lord. In my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy.
Right. And that's a prayer that we pray, that the Lord would preserve our life from the enemy. Okay, because this devil, he's throwing everything out there. We know that he has a short time, so he's going to come down with that great wrath. But we are, through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of Yahweh Shem Shai, being able to identify these things that he's doing and then warn our people accordingly. And the elect is ultimately going to get the message, because that's who it's for. And they're going to accept the message, and the Lord is going to have mercy upon those individuals and deliver them. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bow to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. It says, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who
Right,
shall
and these are form. Then this is a snare right here, right? We just read psychological manipulation, right? So you could be manipulated through these technologies to believe certain things, right? To form addictive habits, right? And all of these methods are being applicated to literally destroy you and turn you away from the Heavenly Father, to turn you away from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? So when you see, men standing out on the highways and hedges, or if you might come across a video like this, all right, who are in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai proclaiming certain things, you'll be quick to click it off because it's not resonating with your spirit, because you're influenced by all these different technologies. You already have a formulated opinion because you've been inundated and manipulated. You've been deceived. You've been had.
Oh, that spell.
Say again.
That spell.
Yeah, that's it. This is a form of enchantment. Man. And then if you do watch us, you're watching us. Why? Because you're more into entertainment than you are anything else. You're not really into the image. I'm sorry, you're not into the message.
Mm-hmm.
And the image we spreading is that of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, okay, and of biblical prophecy. All right, and how to maintain yourself. All right, if you're truly a part of that fold, okay, and how to walk according to faith.
Yep.
Was that it, brother? I think that was it, right?
One more verse. It says, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
And the heart is deep. So, they got their think tanks. They got their scientists, all right, and certain individuals to, do the research, to do the experimenting and put these things together. And it's all really being done through that left-hand side.
Yeah, because the scriptures speak about they're wiser than Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there's a lot here, man. Shoot. All right. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. There's a lot here. I'm just gonna kind of scroll through some of these things. Cause we be here all night. So I'm just gonna ask it. How does AI and microchips for buying work? How does it work? Let's find out. Scroll down. Like I said, there's a lot here, so I just want to kind of see some of the main things. Did I go through, or are we waiting on it? Oh yeah, it's doing that bullshit again. Hold on, brother. Salakia. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see. I have to refresh this. Okay, there it goes. Salakia about that. Okay. So let's just read a little bit here. AI and microchips play important roles in the modern economy, including in areas such as purchasing decisions, supply chains, and financial transactions. Here's a breakdown of how AI and microchips work in the context of buying and commerce. Microchips, semiconductors, and devices. It says microchips or semiconductors are the tiny essential components that power electronic devices such as smartphones, computers, and smart home products. Remember, everything is being essentially integrated into a grid, right? Everything is becoming digital. And the thing that binds it all together is essentially a C-hit, right? Which they ultimately want to put in you. And a brother can hold on deck Revelation 13.
I got it.
Come on, we'll read that in a moment. It says these chips perform various functions, including processing data, controlling hardware, and enabling communication between devices. Now, when you think about data and how buying and selling would work, remember, since a large majority of the world's currency is already digital, if they just decide that, which they are, all physical cash will no longer be accepted, everything will be done digitally, it's easy to see how, all of these things are going to evolve, right? Everything's already pretty much in a computer. So all buying and selling would be at that point would literally be an exchange of information. It's an exchange of data, credits, right?
So
You purchase something, you get a lesser amount of credits, or they deposit credits. That's all it will be. So you have differences in chips. We know that. Improving payment systems, microchips, and credit.
The brother went out again.
Yeah, I know.
In the spirit I just kind of want to focus on.
Second.
Say again.
You back?
Yeah.
Oh, I cut out?
Yeah, for like 3 seconds. It wasn't long.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's go to personalized recommendations. Let's just kind of look into that. Slovakia. Interesting. It's not showing me the same results on my phone as this one. So this one says, I'll just bring it back to me. So this one actually has what personalized recommendations. Can you brothers see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to actually read from that. Now, I typed the very same thing in the chat GPT, but for some reason it's not coming up. But I'm going to just read it. It says, when you shop online, AI analyzes your browsing and purchasing history to predict products you might like. It uses machine learning algorithms to recognize patterns and improve over time. Now, it says microchips. AI-driven recommendation engines run on powerful microchips like GPUs or TPUs that process data in real time. It says these chips enable rapid analysis of your preferences and browsing behaviors to generate personalized suggestions. Right? So let's ask it this. Which we know this. I'm just, we're just experimenting using the technology, right? Exploring the advantages, but also exposing it for what is really going to be used for. So bear with me. I'm just going to read it from here. So I said, can microchips be used for making purchases? Now it's going to give me something on implantable microchips. So it says biometric chips. Some experimental systems involve implanting microchips under the skin, near the hand or wrist, which can be used for contactless payments. These chips typically use RFID, right? Radio frequency identification, or NFC, near field communication. It says technology to interact with payment systems in a similar way to cards or mobile devices. How it works: after the chip is implemented, the user links it to their bank account or payment system. When near a compatible terminal, the chip sends encrypted payment data to authorize the transaction. This kind of payment system is still relatively rare and not widely adopted, right? Because they're going to need to be able to justify it. All right. And we might have to do a part 2, because I know y'all brothers seen some of the messages I was sending about what ways could they convince people to take microchips, and it gave a whole outline on how they could literally influence people to take it. Right? So this technology essentially is all integrated with one another. artificial intelligence, the use of chips, and where it eventually is going to lead, which is getting people to take this within them, right? And we're going to read that in biblical prophecy. And the elect, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're not going to take no damn chip. All right. And we use this technology for the minimal benefits it provides. But at the end of the day, these things we understand are being used in a very nefarious way, in a deceitful way. All right. And ultimately, Esau's going to be destroyed, man. All right. These systems that they're putting in place to try to continue their rule, it's not going to stand. Right. Revelation 13.
Revelation 13.
Oh, and Salakia, by the way, I just wanted to share this real quick. This is how you know it's the spirit. You see how you have artificial intelligence? Can you brothers see that? Oh, no, Salakia, you got to do this. My bad. You see how it says they're artificial intelligence at the top, and then you have the word there, artificial. Look at trending words. You have the words palisade, sinister, and you even have the word left. So this is how you know it's all the spirit, because we know what we're about to read when it comes to the word mark, which goes back to the Greek charagma, which goes back to karax, which will lead you to this word palisade. What? It's a sinister plot, right? It's a left-handed plot, right? You even have the word cybernetics there, dystopia, right? So that's all spiritual, man. All these things are intertwined. Because I didn't know that stuff was going to be there. You know? But anyway, Revelation 13.
Yep, this is Revelation chapter 13. And this is verse 15.
Part of our job is to warn the people, you know. That's why we're doing this lesson. So you're aware of these things, you know. You might not think much of these different technologies, right? You might not consider these things, but when you come across a video like this, you're going to give these things a second thought. You know, you're going to be more mindful. You're going to be more aware. All right. And ultimately, through the spirit, if you're one of the elect, you're going to be wise, right? You're going to make the right decisions. You know, you're going to develop and build your faith. And if you be of the elect, you're going to be delivered, right? But you have to know, right, where there is no vision, what does the scripture say, right? People perish. So we're showing you the vision so that you could ultimately work out your own salvation with fear and trembling and be delivered. So, and that's for you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which is the special people whom the Most High chose. And out of that nation, there's an elect. Okay, you have the 144,000, which is the prophets, the ministers, and the teachers. And then you have another multitude, right, which are all the believers who also make up a portion of that elect, okay, as a collective, as a whole, who will also be delivered. So go ahead and read, Brother Slak.
Yeah, Revelation chapter 13, 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. We know the image essentially is his new world order, right? He wants to depopulate, keep humanity under 500 million, have basically, as the brother put it, in a digital slavery, you know, have everybody hooked up to a grid, regulate and control them by remotely controlling their access to resources via that CHIP. So those that don't worship it, they're going to sanction them to be killed. This is why we know Esau, he's bringing back, you know, summary executions, right? The guillotine, and certain of us are going to be martyrs, you know.
Yep.
But they're going to make it mandatory. And if you come up against the system, right, like just to give you an example, you have something that they claim is freedom of speech, but yet then they have something called hate speech that you could literally lose your freedoms. So if you say the wrong thing and they classify as hate speech, you can have charges be brought against you and even be locked up. Right? So how much more when this devil comes down with that wrath and implements that C hit, makes it mandatory, and the penalty for coming up against his system or not complying is going to be much more severe, right? It's going to be, as brothers have gone into before, draconian, right? It's going to be draconian measures. Brothers can look that up. Go on.
Yep, it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right, and we know that mark again. We're just going to go to it. Charagma.
Yep. Charagma mark, which charagma mark, he goes into a stamp and printed mark, a thing carved.
Right, and that's how we know it's actually physical, right? Which essentially, when you get down to it, let's pull up an image real quick.
Badge servitude.
Let's type in syringe and microchip. This is that incision. This is that stamp. Images. Let's see if we can find one. Okay. Go on, brother.
It says a stamp and imprinted mark.
Right. Oh shit! And look at this. The first thing that I clicked happened to be, which we know, most of Sweden has complied completely with this system. It says Swedish workers implanted with microchips to replace cash cards and ID passes.
Epic.
Go on, brother.
Yeah, it says a mark stamp on the forehead or in the right hand as a badge of followers of the anti-Hamashiach.
Go to the root word, and we know that this is what this represents. The taking of this is basically conforming to the way of the enemy and making Esau, Edom, your Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, following after his image. You're agreeing, you're making, basically, you're entering into a covenant with the enemy by taking this physical mark. You accept his rulership, his ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our people are going to take this, man. A lot of our people really do love this place, man. Even though they catching the hell on every side, they believe that this is the way that life is to be lived because of the influence and deceitfulness of the enemy. Go ahead.
Yeah, the root word.
You're going to be destroyed. The penalty for this is going to be that thermonuclear destruction. You're going to be destroyed in that righteous indignation, that second death, which is going to be brought forth by Yahweh Shai and the angels. All right? Because Yahweh Shai and the angels, as it is written, that the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right? And with fire, okay, and the sword shall he plead with all flesh. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the root of the word charagma is charax, the Greek, which is a peel or stake or a palisade.
Palisade. Again, like I said, it's just the spirit that the trending word happened to be palisade here.
Yeah.
That you can't make that up. And we happen to be going into artificial intelligence. And like I said, through the spirit, this whole lesson is the objective for AI, where it leads, where it's going, its applications, so on and so forth. Here, palisade is a noun. It says here stake, right, which coincides with what the brother's reading, which the stake, all right, or the instrument that's going to be utilized to implement or insert that mark is this right here. Oh, Salaki brothers, is this right here. All right. So that, that's it. If you have anything, brothers, you want to close with?
Yeah, that's gonna be it for now.
Khan. All right. So, we hope you're edified. Again, the whole objective of this lesson was to, show you the relation of AI, how it'll essentially evolve to the chip, how they essentially are a binding technology, right? And these things are all being utilized to to control the people, so heed the warning, be mindful. All right, move that. Let's see. Lord's will, you were edified again. We want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Of course, double honors unto our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And shalom to all the hopeful elect out there. Shalom.